Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Today we are looking at the Sigil Courier class starfighter. So, looking around trying to get any information and every little bit of information that I can come up with has not been as easy on this one. Typically, I can find a little bit more information here and there on a lot of the ships. You can go over to Wikipedia. I've got plenty of books and all that. This is an oddball ship here today. So the Sigil Courier Starfighter actually comes from the Star Wars RPG GM online guide, I believe. So really, what we have is we have a very small little background here, and really, it's just that it's a type of starfighter used by the Lock Revenants. The Sigil were a class of single-seat starfighters with two engines. Sigils were equipped with shields, a hyperdrive, and laser cannons. Now, going as far as I can, the sigil system itself was a source of expensive and dangerous sigil lightsaber crystals during the Jedi Civil War. Sigil aligned with the Sith Empire. So these are probably more of a Sith designed um, style light starfighter here, and um, taking it back to like Knights of the Old Republic, the Sith starfighters had a somewhat similar design to this, except they had wings that would kind of fold out. So again, they were using like ion drives for this, which is a very common theme in Star Wars. So there's not a lot I can say extra, to add to it or whatever, other than just kind of going through what I've already said and just kind of going through our stats here. So we do have a smaller starfighter. It is 12.3 meters long. So I don't know exactly how small you really want to consider it compared to like a TIE fighter, which is what is it, like 6.9 meters. Um, we do have a crew of one. So if you're running the game and you just want to throw it out there, always usually they have stats in here, which works out pretty well. Cargo, we have about 120 pounds. It's 60 kilograms. Um, so roughly there. Uh, so a little bit of room to throw some stuff in there. We do have consumables for about a week. So not really being able to see the person in there in some regards. Um, it looks like, I'm trying to be honest here. I'm looking. I don't know if it's just a green helmet here or if I'm looking at something wrong, but this looks real close to where the cockpit is, and I don't think that the person's actually in a space suit per se. Um, like a fully enclosed one. So I'm guessing at least you have some atmosphere in there, some regular accommodations. But it is going to be, like most starfighters, very cramped if you're in there for a week. The cost of this, though, is very inexpensive for a starfighter. So we are talking about a cost of 42,000 credits. With the times 2 hyperdrive, to me, for most starfighters, that probably isn't bad because you could sit right outside of a system that you're going to jump into, and you don't need to go for a long time. You're just staging up. You jump in, you do your job, and then you jump back out. Um, so having a times 2 hyperdrive isn't bad. The amazing thing is they do have a backup hyperdrive, which is not a very common thing for a lot of starfighters. So we do have a times 10 backup hyperdrive, and I've seen freighters that have a lower backup hyperdrive than that. Even more freighters that don't even have a backup hyperdrive. And surprisingly enough, again, it does have a nav computer. So um, for being a starfighter this inexpensive in that, it is fairly well off. Maneuverability is pretty standard on par with a 2D. Space is a times 9. Although when it's in an atmosphere, it is going a little bit slower. It's only going at 950 kilometers per hour, compared to what we've seen with a lot of others. And when we really do look at the design, I mean, we have these massive engines, um, but not much in the wing area to really kind of keep it aloft. So really, you're just powering through with your engines. Um, and to say that I've heard someone mention, we've had some very stubby winged fighter aircraft and all that, and really it was kind of just going by the sheer force of the engines that they were staying up, and they weren't very maneuverable. They weren't all that in an atmosphere. In space, that could be a lot different, but in an atmosphere, it really cuts down its performance. All right, so we do have a hull of 2D, so it's you know really they're on par with like a TIE fighter and that, but it does have a light shields of a 1D. Um, so yeah, it's basic shields for a ship like this. For if I was a planetary government and I'm looking at the cost of this for what I'm getting, I think this is actually a really good deal here. Our sensor packet, so passively we can search out to 1.5 kilometers. Our scan is 3.5 kilometers. Our search is 7 kilometers, and our focus is 400 meters. So, not too bad in the sensor area. We do have the two laser cannons here. They have a fire control of 1D plus 1, so it's a very rudimentary computer guidance, and it has a respectable 5D for damage. So, for a light, very inexpensive fighter, and it comes with a hyperdrive and everything. So, um, yeah, it's not a bad design, not a bad ship. Um, of course, it's all fantasy, science fantasy. If you're to throw this out here, I'm willing to bet it would probably be a halfway decent ship for characters to want to go after, especially if they're starting off because of the cost involved in it. Um, it's just one of those things of the design looks pretty good. Um, Regrettably, I don't see anywhere on the internet that I was doing my searching here, and I was looking for a little bit of time, just trying to come up with anything and everything I can for this. Um, there's not a lot of pictures out here, so really this is about one of the few I've seen. There's only one other picture I've seen, and it was kind of a side view, and it was kind of rendered in, I want to say it was computer like a computer rendering of it, and honestly, I'm going to say it was back to maybe like the early '90s, and it wasn't one of the best for the time. It was a very good picture, but probably in today's day and age, not really one of the better pictures. I don't know who did this one. This is in the book that I'm getting all this stuff from, but the book really just has the stats. They do not do the write ups. So, trying to bring people other things and other characteristics, like I said earlier on in this series, trying to bring different ships to light that most people don't even see. We can hit on the other ones like the popular Naboo, or we can hit X wings and A wings and all them. Um, but trying to bring to light a lot of the ships that have been done in video games, into different role playing games, um, and some of the novelization and the like. It's really interesting to bring those forward so other people can really see them. And with that, I hope you really are enjoying this series. I'm enjoying bringing it to you, even at times like today, where I'm running through it, and as you can see, it's just two very small lines of what we really get from this. Um, Trying to get back to as much information to you as I can get. Now, maybe there's something else that I'm not privy to because I don't know the right phrases to search under or whatever. That's always a possibility. And for anybody that knows more about it, let me know. Um, that's it's me giving you what I know in a just kind of sitting around the table kind of experience. So with that, have a wonderful day, and we'll see you in the next video.